What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Grounded in Greenville. My name is Nick Green.
And I am Cannon Gates.
And you're listening to WZMB 91.3 FM Greenville, and it is time for ECU Sports Update, where we talk about all things going on in the ECU sports world because, well, we're both ECU students. We love ECU sports, and how can you not? I mean, the school's great.
Very true, Nick. Very true.
It's awesome. We love this school. Anyway, let's go ahead and kick started right now. The only sport we really have to talk about right now is ECU baseball, which they're always a fun talk about because, well, they're killing it right now. Let's go ahead and talk about this past weekend series, sweeping UAB. Cannon, what are your initial thoughts on sweeping UAB?
I mean, I think everyone's initial thoughts can be the same one as mine. The first one is definitely Jake Hunter not starting on Saturday because we had a doubleheader Friday and a game on Saturday. I think that's everyone's initial thought. I think when we saw Jake Hunter, he closed out the second game on Friday. Was like, okay. Chris Collar Saturday?
Yeah, it was like
Shink Saturday?
Yeah, it was a little interesting move right there.
Yeah. I don't think I was not mad. I wasn't like, I think you had a little bit of a different opinion.
Yeah.
When I saw Norby was the starter, I was like, okay. We could see him. That's, I'm happy. I'm not happy necessarily, but I'm like, okay, we could see Norby out there. I know Nick had a little bit of a different opinion on that one.
I did. Now, granted, Norby did change my mind.
He pitched well.
He did change my mind as he started playing.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I was actually getting myself some food when I was trying to log on to the ESPN app, see what's going on right now. Log on, and I'm like, who is that? I was like, that's not Jake Hunter. I was like, who is that? And I hear them say Ethan Norby, and I was like, Ethan Norby? And I was with one of my buddies, and he was like, well, before I was like, that's not Jake Hunter on the mound. He was like, watch it be Norby. And I was like, nah, they wouldn't do that. Sure enough, I was like, well, it's Norby. All right, there it is. And I'm like, I literally was like, what are we doing? Cliff Godwin, what are we doing? I was like, he's a freshman. He hasn't pitched super well the little bit we've seen him. Then, well, he proved me wrong. Good job, Ethan Norby. I love when you can prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm never going to complain
about it. Gotta love when a player proves you wrong.
I love
honestly.
it. I really do. And, I will never complain if somebody proves me wrong because, well, I sat there and was like, well, I just badmouthed you, and now you're proving me wrong. So, hey, I love it.
And the worst thing is when they prove you wrong, but then they go right back down.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
That's always what sucks. And so I hope that does not happen here with Ethan Norby.
Yeah.
But you're right. Ethan Norby, he pitched a great game on Saturday, and props to him. I mean, I don't know if we're going to continue to see him as the Sunday starter technically because we only had it on Saturday because Sunday was Easter. I don't know if we're going to see him as the Sunday starter more often, but I wouldn't hate it. I mean, clearly something is going on in the locker room in order for Cliff Godwin to say, all right, we're going to switch this around. Jake Hunter, we're going to move you around. Norby, we're going to put you in as the Sunday starter. I don't think any of us saw that coming going into this weekend. So the fact that we did that, I love it, and I'm curious to see what happens now from here on out. Then that led us into we got a nice sweep against UAB, setting the tone there. But then we also had a fantastic win. Not yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm thinking today's Wednesday still. On Tuesday against the NC State Wolfpack. Cannon, I know we both have some strong thoughts on this game. Cannon, what are your first thoughts on beating NC State?
We dominated them. We just strictly dominated them.
Absolutely. We love to see it. I think I said something last week about it. We'd love to see them dominate. I think we did that very well.
And we had 13 total hits. We played really well. Dixon Williams had a great game on both sides. He had
that catch.
Was we were trying to get on ESPN top 10. I don't think it did.
I don't know how it didn't.
It was one of the most. It's a crazy catch that he made. That's like an MLB amazing third baseman type catch.
It looked like an over-the-shoulder football type catch from not an MLB, but from a college baseball player. On AMAC too was, I think, the biggest thing from that, and I loved it.
He did not play well either.
No, he did.
He had I think he had a single in the ninth inning.
AMAC did not play the game he typically does play.
And then the thing is, who we also played was Jake Hunter.
Yeah.
So that's like the thing, and he didn't pitch well. I mean, he didn't. I mean, it didn't matter. But he didn't pitch well.
Yeah.
1 inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk.
Yeah.
He didn't pitch that well. Eric Ritchie, I'm not going to hate on him.
Okay.
He didn't pitch great. He did not pitch great.
No, he did not.
After he had a good performance not that long ago. But Aaron Groller, yeah, he was our starting pitcher on Tuesday. What were your thoughts on that? Pitched amazing. I mean, I thought he could have went longer, but I kind of get why we do it because, you never know what's going to happen on the weekend.
Sure.
And even though, yes, it's state, it's a rival, At the same time, you need more conference wins and you need that state win.
Yeah.
If you want to win the conference, any type of thing like that. And yes, the state win helps with the RPI, stuff like that. But I think you got to win longer. I mean, he hit a guy and they immediately pulled him.
Yeah.
He had no hits. He had 3 strikeouts. You know, he was pitching really good.
I think it was funny. You texted me when the second we pulled Growler. I was like, "Yep, only perfection is allowed in this game."
Yeah.
And then sure enough, we put in we put in Danny Beal first, and then we put in Eric Ritchie, and Eric Ritchie walked like 4 guys, hitting 3 of them, and it's like, okay, well, clearly that's not exactly what we're doing here. But at the same time, now I agree. Aaron Growler, he played fantastically. He pitched a great game for us on Tuesday. I mean, how long did he go through? 4 innings? 3 innings. He went through 3 innings.
I think I think he hit the first guy of the 4th inning, maybe.
Okay,
it might have been that. It was either that or the end of the 3rd. And then Danny Beal came in. One of the two.
So either way, Aaron Growler came out there. He played fantastic. I got no complaints on that. And I mean, once again, we didn't. What's with Chris Collar? Are we done?
Yeah,
where was he?
I'm still confused about that. I have to say, if he does not pitch Friday or Saturday, then maybe an injury, maybe we just don't like him. I don't know, but it's a really interesting thing to think about. With that, though, I say Savage and Rue, if they play good, you're not going to see Collar.
No.
You know, you're going to probably, if you Savage pitches 6 or 7 like he usually does, you'll see him.
You'll probably see Lunsford Shankman.
You'll definitely see him. I don't know if it kind of depends on the situation. If they want to pitch him the full 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Even if not, you probably put a Danny Beal or a De Lorenzo type of guy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing with Root, where it's like 6, 7 innings, and then you probably go Danny Beal for sure. So probably Danny Beal for sure, at least on Saturday. And maybe a De Lorenzo again, or if we're blowing him out, Drew Bryan.
Yeah, if we're blowing him out.
And then Sunday, Norby. And you go kind of like hopefully we did on Saturday, where I think we went Norby, Ritchie, Shankman, something like that. We had 3 guys go.
Something like that, yeah. It was Norby.
Someone in Shankman, I thought. But I might be wrong.
Who did we put in after Norby?
Either way. And then I think Collar, unless really something's wrong, he'll for sure start next week because we do play 2 midweek games next week. Tuesday and Wednesday, Elon and Old Dominion back-to-back home games. And then we play Charlotte at home. So we love that.
Yeah.
A week of 5 straight home games. Get all our homework done so we can get to those
Seriously.
games. Because it is coming to that stretch, you know. But, yeah, I think you definitely will see. I would assume we see Collar start one of those 2 games. I don't know. It's weird right now because we don't really know anything because it's not like anything's coming out about it.
Right.
If this was like the MLB, it'd probably be really easy to figure out.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's college baseball. Even in Greenville, it's still going to be hard to figure out because you just don't. No one's saying anything.
Unfortunately, college baseball is not one of the most information-given sports out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to ESPN, you can see the score of the game 24 hours afterward. I mean, around that.
And it might be like 10 games during, and it's usually about like a Vanderbilt type or someone like that that you see.
Well, even during the game, it's typically very delayed.
Yeah.
Very, very delayed. Like if you were watching it in person and then I guarantee you could go home. Let's say we were watching the ECU baseball game here in Greenville. We could go home, sit on the couch and turn on a different game, check our phone, check ESPN on our phones, and I guarantee you it'd probably still be like 7th inning.
That's very true.
Maybe.
You know, and it's annoying, you know, with all that. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing to see. I mean, our lineup's like figured out. Like everyone kind of knows where you're getting, like who's going to play where. Riley Johnson's back. So you got Johnson. Usually it's been Johnson, Cunningham, JJC, Starling.
Ryan McChrystal.
McChrystal's been playing really well.
He has been.
Him and Wilcox that are in there. Dixon Williams in there. Bristol Carter in there, possibly. Kind of just depends with that. You know, it's kind of hard to keep him off the field, but it's also kind of hard to keep McChrystal off the field too right now.
Right.
Because you can't DH Carter or DH Cunningham, or not Cunningham, but DH like JJC. I don't know. It's kind of weird because, and then obviously Barini and
Barini.
I don't know if I count a 9 or not, but either way, the kind of lineup's pretty much figured out there. You know what you're gonna get out of them. The only problem I have with the lineup right now is I hope Starling can kind of get himself. He had a nice hit on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They were literally saying how Starling's been struggling, and then he pops one right hard.
It was a gorgeous
hard
hit.
left center. I think he got a ribby out of it. So, yeah, there's definitely that to think about. I hope he can kind of start.
Yeah, I was about to, that was something I was actually going to mention to you here in a minute. I was like, do you think, I mean, obviously, Starling's too good of a player to, like, do anything with him.
Yeah.
You got to keep him in.
Especially he's a good defender, too.
Oh, fantastic defender. I mean,
him and Marini are right there.
I say Jacob Starling is one of our better players, and so the fact that, I mean, you're right, he has been struggling offensively, but at the same time, Jacob Starling's one of our better players, and he's consistently been one of our better players. He's one of the veteran guys on the field right now. You cannot do anything with him. You just gotta hope he can figure it out soon and be like, all right, let's figure this out. What's going on here?
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. And I mean, he's batting the cleanup hole for a reason.
Yeah,
you know, has power for a second baseman you don't typically see. When you think of second baseman. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing right now. Our lineup's pretty much solid. It's just kind of hard sometimes with the guys we have, especially with how good McChrystal's been.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of knew Bristol at some point was going to kind of step it up, you know, and but I don't think anyone really saw this out of McChrystal.
I didn't see this out of Ryan McChrystal. I'll keep it real. I definitely didn't see it, but offensively, he's been playing great. I tell you what, we're at the point right now. I know at the beginning of the year, our I'll say 1 through 5. 1 through 5 spot on the batting order had been consistently putting production offensively.
Yeah.
And then we'd see the bottom half of the lineup just fall out. I think right now we have a very consistent 1 through 9 where every single batter in that order can do something and has the potential to do something. I mean, Justin Wilcoxon's had a few home runs this past few games. I mean, you can throw in a Chaz Myers in there too.
Yeah.
He's got a home
Walker
run.
Barron played.
He played
good in the couple games he's played. Cam Clonch, kind of hard to keep.
Oh yeah,
it's
hard to keep Cam Clonch out.
Yeah, and it's what you get when you have so much talent. It's like
it's a great problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, but also it's like the transporter in nowadays time, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and I mean that was a lot of the reason why AMAC left. He knew he wasn't gonna because they wanted Dixon to play.
Yeah.
And Dixon's played really well, especially the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
First couple probably the first 8 games of the season was kind of a struggle. Ever since then, he's been clicking defense wise. Too. I mean, our infield is anything on our defense is nasty.
It's disgusting, and I love it.
Yeah, no, you gotta love it.
Oh, and you also have Luke Nowak too.
Yeah,
we're completely forgetting to talk
he's
about.
Played really well as well. Really, no one's been. I mean, honestly, it kind of sucks to say that Starling's probably been typically one of our worst hitters in our lineup.
No, you're right.
But he also has the ability to hit these homers.
But at the same time, you cannot take him out.
Exactly, he has the ability to be a really good hitter at times.
Absolutely.
And you can't keep him out. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's probably even more guys we might be forgetting.
Probably. We've got such a good lineup, offensively, defensively. I mean, I was talking about in text bursts, Cannon. Do you think this team just feels different from past baseball teams?
Yeah, I do. I think in the past, he kind of almost it was like the pitching was like you don't even think about the pitching.
Yeah.
And I don't even know we don't really necessarily have to think about our pitching, but we have our top guys like the other teams have had in the past. But with the other teams in the past, I think they knew their 1 through 6 like that. Everyone is now at first it was like the 1 through 3 and then Shank we knew. Now it's kind of just the 1 and the 2 and Shank and sometimes Danny Beal.
Yeah.
Everyone else is kind of a toss up, and I feel like we need to get to the point, especially now that conference play started up, that we need to figure out who's like our 1 through 6, 1 through 7 guys who throw out there and trust 100%. I think there's maybe 3 guys on this team right now who you can trust 100%. You Savage, Root, and Shank.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I love Beal, but I don't know if you can trust him 100%.
No, I wouldn't say 100%.
I love Danny Beal, but there's been at times in the past where he has blown up.
Absolutely.
And it's been bad. It's been really bad.
Yeah.
It has happened this season, knock on wood. There's wood in here somewhere. I don't know. There's wood right behind Nick. Yeah, that's fine. We'll say that. Yeah, Nick. There's wood right there. Nick knocked on wood for me.
Yep, we got it.
So there's been times where that's happened. I don't know exactly. I like DiLorenzo, but he's a freshman.
Yeah.
You got that. You got Norby, who he played good, but he's a freshman. You got Collar, who I thought I was trusting more. Doesn't start Tuesday.
Something's going on.
Same thing with Roller. Yeah, he had a good game on Tuesday, but there's been some bad games from him. Same thing with Richie.
Hey, I was going to bring him up. Eric Ritchie's the same way. Eric Ritchie, you see a lot you like, and now you've got a few things that you don't like.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the teams in the past, I feel like have had those 6 guys who you're really strong.
Yeah.
And our lineup has been 5 guys, 4 guys who have been amazing. And then there's a couple guys, they're all right, they're good, but you're going to get something out of them sometimes, but not every single time.
For sure.
This team kind of gives me 1 through 9 is going to perform.
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them might not. That's the game of baseball.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Any pitcher. There's pitchers.
Any day of the week, there's going to be somebody who's not going to perform. And that can happen.
There's some pitchers that Joey Barini can hit better than a JJC.
Yes.
Like it's baseball.
It happens.
But like I said, though, the 1 through 9, I think I can trust more than normal. Especially, I think last year too. Mm-hmm. And then the pitching, though, I just don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think our biggest thing, and don't get me wrong, I love this problem to have, is I think we have too much depth all the way around.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic problem to have. Normally, you don't see this. But we put ourselves in a perfect situation right now where we have the talent. It's a matter of using it correctly.
Yeah.
And so I'll be very interested to see what Cliff Godwin does with this throughout the rest of the schedule, throughout the postseason. Now, during the postseason, it'll be interesting too because you're only going to really have the weekend series. You're not going to have the midweek games. You're going to have just the weekend series. So we can throw in Chris Collar. We can throw in Aaron Groller. We can throw in these guys who we trust a lot in the midweek game. We don't have to save them for the midweek games. We can just throw them in, and we can really, really come together as one. And I mean, I'm excited for this team. I'm excited for the potential of this team. I'm excited to see where this team goes in the future because, like you said, like I kind of asked earlier, this team feels different.
Yeah,
this team feels very different. And I truly think if there's going to be a team to go to Omaha, I'm about to knock on some wood again, but I think this is going to be it.
You knocked on wood, guys, if you can't hear it. I can hear it.
I don't know if you can hear that through the station, but I am there's a wooden shelf right behind me I'm knocking on. Hopefully that makes things work out for us.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode of Grounded in Greenville. You can catch Cannon on the air Mondays and Wednesdays at 4. You can catch me on the air Wednesday at 5, and then we'll be right back here again next Thursday at 3.
Wait, next Thursday, will be that our last show of the semester?
Hold on, what is next Thursday?
Before we go off, before I say it.
No. We'll have one more. The last show is the 19th, so we'll have one more.
Yeah, we'll have one more. Yes.
So
okay.
no, we're still good. We got 2 more shows of this before we are done. But in case you don't want this to end, okay, yes, we announced last week we'll be continuing doing this in the summer. However, we also just started our brand new personal podcast between just me and Cannon. You can check out on YouTube if you are interested in doing so. It's the Boneheads in the Boneyard because me and Cannon are 2 boneheads here in the Boneyard at ECU. So if you want to check that out, highly encourage you to do so. It is on YouTube right now. You can also follow us on Instagram if you are so inclined to do so. Don't do that if you don't want to. But if you are interested, you can go check us out there. Other than that, Cannon, you got any final words for everybody?
And that's it for me, Nick.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time, go Pirates.